1.19.40 seems to be an update focusing on a ton of smaller parity changes. For example, last week they actually changed the grass color of savanna plateaus from being very similar to the color of jungle grass to much more closely resembling the savanna grass. And the parity has actually continued inside this week's beta because now you can actually place sweet berries on top of farmland as well as on mud and soul sand. You now dip down by a little texture of a block. You can kind of see it and see it like pretty closely right here. If I crouched, you could probably see it a whole lot better than I am dipping down ever so slightly when I go into these blocks. But these two aren't the only ones you're actually going to see inside it, because it also happens with the farmland, as we can see right here, as well as on top of blocks such as path blocks. So if we crouch and go up and down, yeah, you could see me going ever so slightly up and down just to match the size of the block. And small parity changes like these, you never really realize them until they actually finally add them inside the game. Much like this next one, because bubble column strength has actually been changed. Not entirely sure what that means, but it kind of feels like we're going a bit faster. I don't know if it's just me, but it just feels like we're going a little bit faster going up bubble columns. But it's not just blocks that's had a whole bunch of parity added to it, because there's also been quite a number of changes to the Ravager. For example, they can now be hurt by evokers, they now match the speed as Java Edition, and they have the same collision box as Java Edition. Which again, are changes which you never would have noticed normally unless you were A, looking deep into the files, or B, just really notice these two changes if you play both editions. And I'm not saying that in any form or bad way, because honestly, having even smaller parity changes always makes both editions that much closer. But still, the big parity changes are pretty interesting too, because there have been tons and tons of different types of spectator changes throughout the past couple weeks. One of which in this week is the fact that now you should no longer have the fade, the water fade inside of water, but it seems as though it's still there, though I might have just done it wrong. No, looks like it's still there, but according to the changelog, this should have been changed so you don't have this water fade. But yeah, apart from some of the more technical changes, that's pretty much everything inside this beta. So for now, thanks for watching, and I'm glad I still have my crown in spectator mode. That's a nice little touch.